You'll often, on internet quit sites, see a person come in saying they joined the site because there's nowhere in their real world to get support. There aren't any real programs around them, and there aren't any smokers left around them. They'll say that they're the only smoker that they know. None of their family smoke, or their friends, or their neighbors, or their coworkers, and it's a real isolating experience. And that's one of the reasons that they'll list for why they came to an internet site to get support. I want to point out something that this is really a good thing. Not that it's good for the person because they have no support, but it shows how successful we have really been at people quitting smoking. You go back 30 and 40 and 50 years and oh my gosh, everybody knew smokers. Over half the men in the United States were smoking at that point. Everybody knew smokers. They were surrounded by them. I know when I was first doing my clinics, we were getting very large groups in the beginning, and the reason being is one person would come in, they'd quit smoking. They'd be surprised because they're the only person they knew who ever quit smoking. That's what it was like in the early days. And they'd get all excited and they would say, oh my God, I'm going to get all the smokers I know into this. And you would see people send in people and you would see them graduate and then they'd start sending in people. For years, we had no advertising budget. Didn't need it. We were a word of mouth program that kept growing exponentially because everybody was quitting smoking at this point in time and bringing in all these other people that they knew because they all knew lots of smokers. Well, at the tail end of me doing clinics, the clinics were getting smaller and smaller. And what was real obvious was why, where in the graduation of the earlier clinics, people would be saying how excited they were that they quit and how they're going to get everybody they know into it. Well, long before the graduation day of the latter clinics, we would see people saying the first or second day of their program when they were introducing themselves to the group that they're the only smoker they know. None of their family smokes. None of their friends smoke. None of their coworkers smoke. No one knows they smoke. They were closet smokers. Now they were relegated to the role of closet quitters. Since no one knew that they smoked, they couldn't understand that they were quitting now. But it showed how dramatically the change had been. That you had all these people who used to be smokers around you who don't smoke anymore. They successfully quit smoking. That's the thing I want you to realize. If you're one of those people who say, well, you're the only smoker you know, if you go and look at your social circle and you start interviewing your coworkers and your friends and your families and ask these people, did you used to smoke? You're going to find a whole bunch of people, not so much with family because you knew your family all the way through, but friends, if you moved into a new neighborhood or a new city or a new state, whatever it is, new country, and people you've been hanging around with now for years, maybe 5 or 10 years, and you never knew them as smokers. In your view, they never smoked a day in their life. But if you start talking to these people, you're going to find that there's probably going to be a fair number of them that will tell you, oh yeah, they used to smoke. And they don't smoke anymore. And you'll be kind of amazed by this because you'll look at them and think, oh my gosh, they never seem like they could have been smokers. They don't seem like smokers. Well, whatever that means, this is how people are going to see you once you quit smoking. When you get years under your belt and now people meet you, they're not thinking like, oh, this person seems like a person who used to smoke and just doesn't smoke anymore. They'll just see you as someone who's never smoked. But that's, again, a positive light to recognize how life goes on after you quit smoking. And life becomes normal without smoking. And it's not like quitting is a permanent part of your existence because it really does come to a point that, hey, you just don't smoke anymore. Hey, maybe one day somebody will ask you like, well, gosh, did you used to smoke? And you'll have to go into this lengthy story now. It's a type of thing, though, it illustrates that quitting is possible just by the number of people around you who've done it, and that life goes on after smoking, just by the number of people who not only quit, but have now gone on with their lives in a way almost showing no signs that they ever had this dependency before. So take heart at that and talk to people, because I think the more you talk to them, the more you're going to realize there is life after smoking. It's a good life. It's an easier life than you ever imagined it's going to be. And all you got to do to get that life now is simply stop smoking and then continue to stick to a personal commitment to never take another puff.